All right. Okay, so it's we're a few minutes late, and Richard's still doing his homework. What?
Oh yeah, I'm working on packing list.
That's a lot of lists.
Yeah, I mean it's pages and pages of stuff. Yeah, I have it on my phone too, but
Are we making
sometimes
sure
it's
we're
easier to
not
have it on
forgetting anything?
sometimes it's easier to chop down a tree and just start going down the list when you're going to grab stuff.
Okay.
Yeah,
Kicking it
anyway.
old school, huh? Yeah. That's you're
Yeah, I'm not a
making your
paper
list.
guy at all
You're
anymore.
making your list corn dog style, dude.
Yeah, I got the corn dog clipboard thing going on right
Yeah.
now.
Okay.
I saw Will at the racetrack. He had a little list and he was little clipboard and he was making some. I go, Will, what are you doing with that thing? You got a computer there. It's got like, you know, millions of pages of paper.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So yeah, but sometimes when you're loading stuff from various places in the shop, it's a little bit easier to have a piece of paper you can just check off.
Yeah.
I just haven't converted it yet into something I can see on my phone. Just a Word doc. It's the same list we had from last time we went to World Superbike. I don't know. We're kind of probably talking a bit
Dude, we're
out.
just talking. Like,
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, so we're getting ready for World Superbike in addition to this last round of MotoAmerica.
that's awesome.
Yeah, fun stuff. Yeah, we have this. I like show and tell, so we have this handy dandy. This is not. This is just a tube. This is called a flow meter. So
Okay.
this thing, what they do is that it's mandatory on all the World Superbikes. They have a CAN bus over here, and fuel goes in this way, and fuel comes out that way. It
Okay.
determines how many kilograms per hour or whatever their measurement is that you use, and all the bikes have to be under a certain number,
Oh
and that's
wow.
the way they were able to control the power. So it's kind of like Formula One. You're only
Hmm.
allowed to have X amount of fuel go through your engine, and in that way they're able to manage the performance of all the various manufacturers without making some big engine concessions
Right.
or all that kind of stuff. It's like, okay, we'll just take away a couple liters out of that bike over there. Now they have to control how much full throttle time they have.
That's a lot, dude.
Well, I mean, it's just one more channel for the data guy to look at. So, oh, hey, we're using this much fuel. We better trim back wherever we can trim back on that lap to get that mileage. So you may want to
There's some
open
other
talk.
stuff too. There's some other MyLab stuff that they want to look at too, right? Like I remember last time you had to add a bunch of extra stuff that they're
Yeah, that was 22. That was kind of, I think that was almost an infancy of with the TPMS.
yeah.
So they have minimum pressures for the rear tire, so 1.65 bar, and so they want to see the tire at above that pressure for X amount of percent of the race.
Mm-hmm.
What happens is whenever you have a tire on a warmer and you roll out for the first couple of laps, the pressure will be down a little bit lower than what you set it on the warmer until the temperature comes up. And the harder the guy rides, the faster it'll come up.
So that's 1.65 bar. That's like what 24 psi or just shy of it.
Yeah, I haven't done PSI in so long. I don't even
Yeah.
remember.
I'm just talking, for the
Times
club racers.
1.65 times 14.5, right? That's
Yeah,
conversion.
it's like
So what is
just
that?
shy of 24, I think, isn't it?
24. That's the minimum.
Oh, look at that. That was just close, right? It's like
Yeah,
23.9 something, right?
5.
But
Yeah,
so
6.
like how does that pressure differ from what you're running on the Dunlops here in the MotoAmerica
I'm not going to
series?
tell you what we do.
Oh, there's not a mandatory.
Put it this way: on the Dunlop, there's no limit. There are no
Okay.
limits. You can go as low as you want and as high as you want based on the wear, the contact patch, and all those kinds of things, which are a little bit of you see Fernando right all the time. I think that was one of the questions you wanted to ask us, like, hey, what's Fernando doing with the tire? No, that's a bit of a trade secret on that deal.
Trade secret? Oh, okay. Okay. I
Well,
mean,
I
I
mean,
I saw Fernando. It's the first time I've ever seen him like out. Like I never noticed it before out on the grid, even like looking at the thingies. You know, I'm like, what's
yeah, I
this?
asked him
You
to
know.
to keep us up on how hot the guys were getting the tires on the grid. That's
Mm,
important for the first couple laps, and Bobby wanted to go out hard for the race. And so it's really important that we don't dip down below a certain pressure for the opening laps, because at COTA, just a little hint, the track was pretty hot. It was like mid 40 Celsius, like 45, 46, that type of thing. And the way Bobby was riding, he was getting as much temperature in the front tire as the rear tire. And we knew, so the front was, let's say the front was like 80, 82 Celsius on the inside. The rear was maybe 85. Sometimes got close to 90, but because we knew that we were going to be following a lot in the race. So when you're following, the pressure is going to come way up. So we had a little strategy for where we set our pressures and how much to put our warmers at on the grid.
Okay.
So we get the most out of the first couple laps.
That's cool. That's way cool.
Yeah, and
it's way more nerdy on the grid than I've noticed Fernando being. You know what I mean?
Fernando's pretty nerdy, even though he's a pretty cool dude.
He's a cool nerd.
Yeah. He's a man of many skills too. He did Bob's helmet, right? He painted it.
Yeah, there's Brian Chase got some. I think Bob wore it on like in qualifying and stuff on Saturday, right? A lot of real fire and some like Stockton, like Vato stuff. It was cool.
I didn't even see all that stuff. I just saw a little goldish, and it was very gold.
Yeah, a lot of little tiny hints to like that kind of lowrider culture, kind of almost. But yeah, it's cool. I like it. Dig it.
Fernando doesn't do it for a living, but it turned out pretty good.
Yeah, not bad for a hobby helmet painter guy, right?
Yeah, I think Bob's helmet painter was a little upset with him, he said.
Yeah, I heard that. Happens. I mean, this was a gift. Fernando did that for his birthday kind of thing. I mean, it was kind of the whole thing. So I think it was cool. Yeah, somebody told me to hook him up with Crazy Pete.
Crazy Pete.
Yeah, that's the lowrider guy that paints my stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't think so, dude. I think Crazy Pete's helmet would be way too heavy for Bob's head with all that metal on there.
Yeah, the paint's got to be thin.
Yeah.
Thin and light,
Mm-hmm.
And it actually has to not fog up.
There's that.
Yeah. So it doesn't cost us a bunch of points.
Wow.
Because of a silly helmet.
Okay.
And then no one on the team can be associated with us because of their helmet that fogs up.
Jesus.
What was that, KYT?
Non-stop, dude. Just non-stop.
I mean, hey, if somebody says you cannot be associated with that team, I take that somewhat personally. So then I will not.
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty upset with
their helmets that fogged up and cost us a bunch of points.
Yep.
And we've been talking about that thing fogging up all weekend.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
So
I will say this for my deal. Brandon Credo hit me up and he wants to continue with us, and he like basically apologized profusely for the direction that went and didn't want that for us.
After somebody tells you that you cannot be associated with this team, is that what they said?
That's what TJ said. Yeah. So, I think Brandon Brandon was trying to squash that. So,
yeah, whatever. When it comes flying out of somebody's mouth and I hear it, that's the end of that.
Right. Yeah. That's it. That was unfortunate, man. But Bob's been doing great. Bob's been doing great, and we came into the weekend. I mean, we talked about it before. You're like, man, if we get out of COTA with third, that's like solid, right? We got a third and a second.
I think our target was seconds. If we can pull seconds,
right,
and we don't come out of it with a negative, then we have a fighting chance at New Jersey.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're going into Jersey with what, 8 points?
8 points up. Yeah, 8 points up going to Jersey, and and 22 points up on Heron, I think.
Yeah, winner takes all at Jersey, basically, right?
No. Heron can win all three of them. We could finish second, all three, and we'll still take it.
Okay.
He's 22
Oh,
points
you've done all the Greg White type scenarios.
No, it's pretty simple. It's called arithmetic.
Yeah, math. Yeah, math.
No, it's arithmetic.
Arithmetic.
math.
Okay. It's just arithmetic then.
Yeah, just plus
Got
and
it.
minuses, divide.
Well, you get so many points for first, second, third, and whatever. I'm sure you've calculated all the things to make sure
We have to
which
beat
way.
Bobby,
Yeah.
at least in a couple of them. If he wins one, and then I think he can win maybe two, and we can finish second in the others. Yeah, I think we have to pretty much beat him, and we have to beat him in both, at least two of them, and maybe win one. So it's going to be a good race.
Yeah,
I think Cameron will come out swinging. I think he's finally taming that beast. He did a pretty good job. Almost fell on it, right?
Dude.
On Sunday.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, the way Bob's riding, he's not getting away.
No.
He's been able to keep Bob's honest.
Our bike was definitely stronger than the BMW in the last sector.
Yeah.
And also in the first. So Cameron made up quite a bit of time in that back straightaway. I think probably a good I think we're coming up shy about 2/10 per lap on that back straight.
Yeah.
Something of that nature, that one sector there. So he was getting a good run out of that last corner, or that corner is turn 11. And going to 12, he would probably pull us about enough to get by in the draft in sixth gear, and have a bike length. So it wasn't terrible. We kind of expected that.
Yeah.
What I didn't want was both the BMW and Ducati just railing past us in third gear or so and putting a big gap on it. So I think mission accomplished as far as that goes. They could only get us in the back straightaway. And I knew in race 2 when we dropped Heron that in race 1 they were going really slow. Like they were doing nines. I was like, well, Bob got off. I go, why are you guys going so slow? He said, man, it's really slippery out there. And so we made some changes for warm up, and didn't get to exactly where we wanted to be, but we made some improvements. So
was it slippery, do you think, because of the temperature? I mean, it just made everything greasy.
It was really strange. Like, in the past, the more rubber you put on the racetrack, the better the track got. But I was talking to Bob about it. I said, you know what? We could have raced with our FP1 times and won the first race with those times. And I mean, he did a 9 flat on a 15-lap tire, like over race distance. We didn't put a second tire on. Oh, it seemed that way. He went out and came back in, and we made some adjustments. And he went out again and did a 9 flat when he was like doing the mid 9s. And that's all the race 1 pace was. There were like 9s. And it wasn't even consistent 9s. I think they slowed down to 10s. And the problem was that when Heron's out front, his bike's so fast. And he's a good rider when it comes to stopping in the middle of the corner and charging off there again. Getting a good run off the corner. So he's a big, gigantic rolling chicane. It's hard to get past him, and so you pretty much had to settle for doing whatever pace he was doing. And even Bobby had a hard time getting past him, right? Because he just jammed back in there and ruined your pace. Right. So at the end, I'm sure everybody watched that race, but at the end it was a pretty good race for the three of them. And we came up 300ths or something like that, shy of second. Yeah. Yeah. So it was a pretty good race, but it was just so slow. It was kind of disappointing. It was just so slow. Race 2 was much faster, and dropped Heron and the rest of the gang. Whatever they were, like 12 seconds back or something. They're pretty far back. I don't remember where it finished. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like Jake was going to get in there and get after Heron, and it was kind of that same yo-yo effect where, it looked like anyway that, like you were saying about Heron being able to control the pace by effectively parking the thing in the corner and driving off and using that extra Ducati to get off the corner, and then it made it really difficult for Jake to get by, even though it looked like he was holding up Jake for a bit, and then SDK caught up and joined the party.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same story. Jake, I think, lost some power in his arm by the end of the race, and he couldn't brake as hard as he'd like. I mean, he did a 7.4 in qualifying, which is really good. Yeah, so we couldn't really get, Bobby crashed in Q1 twice.
Yeah.
I think he was just a bit excited. So to back up a bit, we went out and did a 2-day test on the Pirellis.
Okay.
So we went out to Podium Club, and it was 1,000,000,000 degrees out there, very similar to the track conditions, maybe a bit hotter than COTA.
Okay.
And he went out and did 2 days on the Pirellis. So we were like, okay, we're gonna get you up to speed on the Pirellis. We'll do the best we can with the chassis. And at the very end, we'll put on a set of Dunlops, get your head back around the Dunlops.
Right.
So he went out and got comfortable with all the various Pirellis, and then we stuck the Dunlops on at the end, and he couldn't get within a second of, maybe 8/10, 9/10 of the Pirelli times.
Really?
And just about crashed the bike a bunch on the front. And he said all the lap time came from the front on the Pirelli. And he said the rear of the Dunlop wasn't terrible, compared to the Pirelli, but most of the lap time came from the front, in an area where we've kind of, been pushing the bike harder and harder. So I think right now our lap time is being held up by the front. And I think when Dunlop comes out next year with some new rubber, it's going to be, I think track records are going to fall if we can get enough test time with the tires they come up with. I think it'll be much more competitive.
Because whatever they're going to come up with is not going to be U.S. tires like before, because they closed that factory.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Japanese tires.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know if they're going to have any French tires thrown in there too. I have no idea. I was talking to a few different people with regards to that. I think pretty much it's going to be a Japanese tire, like what they're doing with the Super Sport bike. They just didn't have it all developed for this year. So it'll be like an R4, R6 type thing. I guess they're only going to bring 2 fronts and 2 rears to all the races. That's what I hear, but you know how those are. That's all. Right. That's all rumor and sort of a plan from Dunlop, and then it might change come time to go racing. Right. So it'll be interesting. But I was pleasantly surprised that Bob got along with Pirelli's real good, and it'll give us a little better shot when we get to World Superbike for our little European vacation. Yeah. So anyway,
the Euro trip.
Come back to Q1 when he crashed. I think he still had a little bit of Pirelli mindset.
Yeah, and for Q1 also, or for that Q session, Bobby had me go and do spot stuff. He had me micro split is what he kept calling it.
Yeah, certain between the splits, check a certain section, see how you're getting through there.
Yeah, so I was getting him from the bridge. I was getting him from the bridge right at the entry to the S's. Yeah. And then I would basically time him until he disappeared out of the S, right? And dude, he was quite a bit faster than everybody there. Like, it was shocking. Like, he was doing something there. He was getting he was running it out into higher gear and then making a back shift before the first left in the S's, and I was like, "Oh my god, I've never seen that." So,
yeah, it's interesting little phenomenon that happens with riders. Before they get a chance to compete or be next to somebody, they complain about a certain sector, and usually they're really fast in that sector. Sometimes the fastest, like, oh man, it's really heavy to steer. I want to hit my marks better. I need more EB here, more track, anti-wheelie, blah blah blah. Right? You go through all the things that they're focused on. And then you look at the split, you go, well, that's your best split. I know, but I can make it better. And in the race, that's where they're, super fast, but that's the area they complain about the most. And this isn't just Bobby. It's like a number of riders I've worked with are like that. They'll focus on a section and then they'll like, oh man, only if I can go a little faster right there. I go, well, you're the fastest through there. So how about we concentrate on some of the other stuff too?
Well, during that session, he had crashed. I didn't know because I'm out on track. I didn't see it yet. And Ricky Bobby called me and was like, dude, he crashed. I was like, what? So I came down because I wanted to tell him and I wanted to tell Jake what I saw too, So I told him, I was like, this is what you're doing, dude. Keep doing that, Don't stop doing that. You're already faster than everybody by a lot.
Yeah.
And then I told Jake, and Jake was like, oh man, I was doing that at first and then trying this other thing. So I don't know if he adjusted and started making that back shift like Bob was doing, but he looked like he was running into the back of people going, for that right hook.
Yeah, so. It was a good section to be fast if you're by yourself, but when you come to the race and you're trying to get through there and you got 2 guys in front of you, it's one thing to have 1 guy in front of you. You can maybe put a pass on a change direction. When you have 2 guys, it's a little more difficult. You have to pass 2 guys at once. It's literally impossible at that pace. And
Right.
so being strong in that section didn't pay off in the race.
Right.
And plus is leading up to that long straightaway. So like in the beginning of race 2, he got the jump and he went through that section pretty fast. But, you know, Bobby was up on him in that split. In that turn 11. And, you know, by the time he got to 12, he had already drafted him on the brakes going into 12. So, yeah, we just keep working on the grip and acceleration of this bike and the braking performance. And I think that's where we're seeing all the speed. Kind of like the Yamaha Europe, they spend a lot of time on acceleration, and I think they're seeing their speed there. The bike's much more competitive than it was last year.
Right.
And same with our bike. I mean, we actually have a healthy rider this year. I mean, Jake's still struggling a bit. You know, he's fast. He did the 7.4 in qualifying, so he's still very capable. But you know, he's still struggling for the race distance. Where Bobby's pretty fit. You know, it's quite a bit different than our situation last year. Guys go out strong and then they struggled.
Yeah.
So it makes our bike look a little better, you know, when the rider's healthy. They're able to use the bike to its fullest extent, you know.
Yeah, I mean, Bob was doing stuff. Can you talk a little bit about Bob's different lines that he uses from everybody else?
Yeah, he likes to turn tight. And we talk about that a lot. It's like, I mean, it's good. And he makes it work somehow.
Yeah.
But I'm not a fan of it. I'll be honest with you. And I've told him that, you know, because I think a traditional line is the fastest line around. Yeah, you can force the issue and then you end up in your noggin sometimes.
Yeah.
You're asking the front tire to do a lot. And I think that'll help him when we get to World Superbike because he asks so much of the front tire that the Pirelli front has a little more to give. Yeah.
Okay.
And then back to the thing with the temperature of the track and you know it was really weird. Like a lot of times you get to a track that's kind of green, and then you know day 1 you're so fast, and day 2 you go a little faster, day 3 you go a little faster, right?
Right.
It seemed like we didn't really go that much faster in the races than we did in practice and qualifying, or practice even. You know, and like middle 8s was about all she wrote, with occasional, you know, maybe Bobby had pulled off a 7.9 or an 8.0 or something.
Right.
But it wasn't like he was going to do those times all race long. You know, he got back to middle 8s and, you know, high 8s. And, you know, the rest of the pack was like in the 9s and 10s. And those were like first day times. So, and then the track was more slippery, even though the heat was similar. So I'm wondering if putting Dunlop rubber down and then trying to ride over Dunlop rubber is, you know, being that the tires are a year old, I'm wondering if that's having some type of issue with the heat.
You
know,
yeah, I wish I would have asked that question to Mick.
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna go. I don't know.
I don't know, mate.
Mick's a good dude, man. I like working with him. He hasn't been all the races; only been like 5 or 6 of them this year. You know.
Yeah.
But you know, I'll be happy when they come up with some new. I mean, everybody's gonna be faster when they come up with some new rubber. But right now we're kind of like triage, you know, just kind of holding on the last bit of rubber they have until next year.
We got 3 races. 3 races.
One more event, 3. I don't even know what they're going to use. I don't know if they put up the schedule yet. It doesn't really matter. I think last year was R7, R8 rears. I think it might be R5, R7. It's supposed to be relatively just middle of the road warm in New Jersey, by what I saw. Hopefully, it doesn't really matter what it is. We'll be ready for it.
You know, on the podium, I think it was in race 2. Heron said that he was kind of praying for rain at Jersey.
I suppose, you know, but like I said, he's going to have to win all 3 of them, and have either us in front of Bobier or Bobier in front of us to be able to win the championship. You know, so I don't think both Bobier and us are going to screw up. You know, so I think it's going to be a little bit wishful thinking on his part at this point.
I think it's just going to go down. It's going to,
right?
Yeah, I mean, the season, I don't remember, when was the last time we had a battle like this down to the final weekend like this?
With Petrucci?
Petrucci.
Yeah, that went to the last round.
Yeah.
Right? It was a barber. And they choked. You know, the Ducati team choked. They were really slow for whatever reason. I don't know why the
Mm.
Ducati's so slow, Barber. Maybe the new one will be faster. But they super choked, and we were pretty comfortable one. And yeah, the other ones, I think we've won all the other ones like a race or two out.
Right.
In 20, I think Bobby won at Indy. It was still, I think, a couple races to go, if I remember right.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
each one, there was one to go because Laguna was the one after that.
right.
And then 22, I think we won a race or two early, and 23 we won at Pittsburgh. So we had two races to go after that. We had COTA and New Jersey, so we won two full events early in 23 championship. So this one's coming down the wire, which is kind of cool. Should be fun. Either way, we're pretty happy with the performance.
Yeah.
The motorcycle and the riders. So it doesn't. We
Yeah.
win, we don't win. It's what it is.
Hmm.
We're our best.
Yeah, I mean, Jersey seems to be a track that's traditionally a pretty good track for the Yamaha. So, rain or shine,
Yeah, no, I mean,
and mixed also.
yeah, mixed conditions. JD won there on our bike.
Yeah.
Jake's won there in the wet. It's been a good track for us. I mean, Heron won on our bike there in the wet by a long distance. So it's been a really good track for us. So we'll see how it goes.
Is there the question a lot of people ask about is team orders? Is there like a directive from up high that says it's got to be Bob?
That's the Yamaha thing.
Okay.
And generally, what happens is if the rider has no mathematical possibility of winning,
right,
then that's when team orders come in.
Okay.
So I don't know. We'll have to discuss it with Jeff at Yamaha and see what they want to do for the last round. At this point, there's no mathematical possibility for Jake to win. I think he's locked out. I think he's more than 75 points back.
Right.
The next guy, right?
Right.
Guy. So there's no way he can win the championship. So I don't know if Yamaha wants to do anything with regards to that. Obviously Jake has a possibility of winning. It all depends on the math game. If Jake's out there and Bobby's behind him and everybody else is behind us, then that's fine.
Right.
So it all depends on how it plays out for those three races. Really, really hard to predict. You don't want the guy to give up a win.
Right.
Bonus money and all kinds of stuff that goes with it.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. But
it's just a comment that people come up with all the time when there's two teammates out on the track and one of them's in contention.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen that before, but I don't think this team or Yamaha has ever done that. You kind of let the guys run their race. And by the time the season end type stuff, it's usually pretty clear who's going to be able to beat who. You just don't want one rider holding up the other guy. So that's probably the best thing is, if the guy's behind you and he's clearly faster, you let him through. But if you're going to win the race, you're going to win the race.
I talked to Bob, and he says he's just going to treat Jersey like every other race weekend.
Yeah.
You're going to go out.
Hopefully he doesn't treat it like Q2 or Q1, I mean. Where he ends up on his noggin twice.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't do that, because, that sucks.
Yeah, and the thing is with him is he always wants to know why he crashed.
Yeah.
And so the first one, was a combination. He could use a little more engine braking. I think it's turn, I can't remember, it was 16 or something. It's a little tight left-hander coming off of a pretty fast right, through that big sweeping section.
Big carousel thing, yeah.
Yeah, and he just broke too hard, got over the bumps, and lost the front. To crash. I think a little bit of more engine braking there would have helped him slow down and get that thing hooked in the corner. She was asking too much for the front tire. And the next one, it was similar kind of thing. He turned in tight, got over the Formula One car bumps there and lost the front. You could see it off the back straight. I think that's when they showed the best where front hopping.
Right.
And just you could see him losing the front kind of early, and then he was just asking more and more and more from the front. And it just wasn't going to do it.
There were some people talking about how they wondered if COTA was cool with MotoAmerica showing the slow-mo of riders shattering the front right there in the the car braking zone, the bumpiness. Like that, is it that bad on the data? Does it look that bad on the data?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Just
pretty
yeah.
big. Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
and then and it depends on how the riders approach and how they take that corner. If you're gonna ask 100% out of the front tire, it may not be there for you.
Hmm.
Because the tire unloads, loads, unloads, and yeah, you could probably try to tune some of that out, but then you're going to ruin a lot of the rest of the racetrack.
Hmm.
Yeah, COTA is one of those strange racetracks where it asks different things from different corners.
Right.
Like S's is one type of racetrack, and those sweepers is another type of racetrack, and those stop and go corners are another type of racetrack. So
Right.
it is a combo platter of setups.
I talked to a guy on, as I'm walking around talking with the stupid camera thing. This local guy, he's a CMRA guy mostly. And he like local coach at different track day companies and stuff. This guy named Shalik. And Shalik has this whole thing about how COTA is like 3 different tracks, and you got to break it up, and you're going to focus on this section, and then you focus on the next one and the next one. That way you can kind of tie them all together, because you have to treat them different. So is there compromise there? Is there like a gearing compromise sometimes? Like
Not
where
necessarily
you're
gearing, more setup compromise.
okay.
And
Like I got the bike working well in this corner, but it may suck over here a little bit, or it may not be as
if
good.
you're used to using it a certain way,
Hmm.
so let's
Okay.
just say that you want the bike nose down to get to a certain section, but then it's no good on the brakes.
Okay.
So you can't get in turn 12 or the last turn or turn 1 very good. Turn 1's pretty much an easy one because it goes uphill. Just about anything
Right.
can stop going there. You just put it against the bump stop. You just bounce off the bump stop all the way to the apex. Release
Is that what they do?
the corner. What's that?
Is that what they're doing?
That's what they're doing.
No shit.
Oh yeah,
We're such wusses. I'm thinking
Yeah.
about how the bumps you're like, yeah, you're wusses. No, I was just there like 3 weeks ago with the homies, right? And we all went, and
You probably
all
never
of
touched
us,
bump stop, right?
stalkers, dude. Like, yeah, the
Doesn't
ABS
matter.
kicks in. ABS
There's,
kicks in is like, no, dude, you don't need all that.
there's a couple of racetracks that you ride the bump stop, and if you look
Yeah.
at MotoGP World Superbike, they get on that thing quite a bit.
Oh yeah.
That World Superbike uses a bottom out spring. So does MotoGP, as far as I know.
Yeah.
So they use a spring on the fork, right, instead of a bump stop itself.
Yeah.
So then you can get different stiffness bump stops, longer ones, shorter ones, whatever. But Road Atlanta, going to turn 6, yeah. You hit the bump stop pretty good there and ride it pretty good into turn 6. And then same with turn 1 at COTA. I mean, there's no fixing it.
Yeah.
And
You
then
just kind of you could use the hill to help slow you down too when you're.
well,
on
I
the
mean, that's an
racetrack,
example.
right?
Like, yeah, you could fix it for there. Your bike's
Right.
not going to get around anywhere else.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Jake goes, whatever. You're never going to stop it. So just let it go. The bump stop. Jake uses a lot of stroke in the front fork.
Hmm.
He's aggressive on the brakes, and I think that's why when his hand gets the way it does, arm, strength goes away. He can't fight.
Yeah.
At least that's my observation, and because he does use a lot of more brake pressure than Bobby does, and a lot more dive on the front. So he generally requires a little bit firmer front end than Bobby does. Yeah, and even with he just puts it right against bump stop. So does Bobby up there, especially with a full load of fuel. But so yeah, you can't fix that corner. You can't fix that approach. That corner, I should say. The corner is a whole different thing, and you don't use as much travel off the back straightaway because you're coming off such almost 200 miles an hour. So you don't like stay on the bike on its nose. You probably lock the front tire with all that momentum it's got.
Right.
So then you get deeper into there. Then you'll start lifting the rear tire, things like that. But
and they're going completely up and down the gearbox on the back straight, right? They get on there first, and then they up to 6th, and then back to 1st.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
We're first through 6th of Laguna.
Yeah, yeah. Different size sprocket, right?
Yeah, big one.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? COTA isn't the smallest sprocket we run.
No, which is
Road Atlanta.
Road Atlanta. Oh, because the straightaway is downhill.
No,
right? No,
because you're on the side of the tire going through there.
Okay.
And Road America is actually a fairly big rear sprocket too, because you're pretty much straight when you're going at max speed. So the tire
Okay.
grows and top. And tires are like this, right?
Yeah.
So the diameter up here, especially when the tire is like fully at speed, is a little bit more. And but you're on the side of the tire, the diameter is very small, so it's like being a gear down. So it's like going through there in fifth as soon as you lean it over. Same at Daytona, when they're on the banking, and all of a sudden you pick it up and the thing bogs down. And so yeah, Atlanta has probably the tallest gearing, and then very close to that, within a tooth, I think, is VIR, and that one's I think come off of that last corner and
Third.
we're so tall now. I think we're coming off in second.
Second.
Might have been first, but I'm pretty sure it was second.
Yeah.
Second, and then second through sixth, and then at the kink, you're pretty much at the limiter.
Right.
Then back to first for turn one.
Is there something about being in the limiter? Because like some riders are like, "Oh, I'm hitting the limiter," and then you change the gearing, and they don't like it anymore because they can't get to where they were elsewhere on the track. Is that compromise?
Some guys are creatures of habit.
Okay.
So they go, "Oh, I don't mind the limiter. It tells me when I have to brake." I hear that a lot.
How does the engine mind the limiter?
I mean, like for instance, at VIR, coming off of, we were going to first for turn one. So you come off of two, you're supposed to, and Bobby was short shifting second, come off of one. Not short, but I mean, he's leaned over still.
Right.
And the reason we go to first there, it just helps with the resolution of the engine braking. So if you go in there in second, the RPMs get so low that you can't slow the bike down very good with the engine brake.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you use first, which a lot of guys, like example, when the Westby guys were running the Superbike, Matt Skulls never used first, tried not to. And he's always asking for EB, but the RPMs are so low, you're never going to be able to get that throttle plate to shut enough to make enough vacuum in the engine to slow the bike down.
Right.
So you have to use first. You can get the RPMs up, and you can get a little more vacuum in the engine. The fuel's off and the throttle plates are shut, and you can use a little more, engine braking and help the bike slow down, mainly at the apex. So anyway, so then our guys didn't want to go to third there in that straightaway there before you get to the snack bar there, that turn 3-4 area, and so they would just ride the limiter all the way into there.
Oh man!
And then backshift. So that was. But if you go back to the days of Matt Mladen, when he was riding the Suzuki, he was riding the limiter a lot of places. He won a lot of races on the limiter. It's not nice to the engine, but it's what it is.
Yeah, it's not their job to care about that. That's break all you want. You'll just make more, right?
Well, we don't want to break it, but the limiter is usually set in a pretty safe spot.
Yeah.
So they can ride it for quite a while before the thing will actually do anything.
Yeah. So I saw I saw the battles. I mean, they Bob looked like he was right there and all the way to the end, kept Bobes honest. Bobes had the epic save on his knee. Somehow managed to gather it up and still beat us.
Bobby went 10 on that lap after Bobby went wide, almost crashed.
Yeah, I wonder what happened there that we didn't see.
I asked him, I said, "Why'd you slow down so much?" He goes, "Oh, the tires were getting pretty hot, greasy." He thought Bobby messed up enough to where he could take an easy lap, let the tires cool off. And then he didn't make a full lap before it was like +0 again. I'm like, dude, you had 1.1 come past the stripe, and it was time to put your head down. I'm not saying that he would have won anyway, but Bobby was on a mission. And but I think if he had kept his head down, it would have been a lot harder for Bobby. Then they kind of just sat there all race long, kind of matching pace, and we were making a couple tenths here, a couple tenths there, up until Bobby almost fell down. We were making a couple tenths a lap on him.
Right.
Sometimes even, sometimes you make a couple tenths, and it was going to be hard to get a pass in on him.
Right.
I told Bobby the strategy would have been the last sector. Because it would have been hard, even though we were faster in the S's, he was faster in the S's. It would have been very difficult for him to maintain that gap down that back straightaway.
Right.
He'd been back +0 at best. But if he could get ahead of him, stay ahead of him going into the last sector, then definitely there was no way that Bobby was going to pass him in that last sector.
Yeah, that guy, that Bobes guy, man. Somehow that guy is just so good.
Yeah, no, I mean he's the real deal. He's no slouch without a doubt. Props for him all the time. He just
I talked to his dad, and just walking around talking to people. I ended up talking to Jeff, and Jeff said that he remembers a million years ago, he did one of his like early track day stuff were with us. Like we were one of the only guys that were cool enough to let him ride when he was like 14 or something. So
it
was like, wow.
He was a Yamaha guy for a long time, right?
Yeah, well, he was on a little 125 or something back in the day with us.
He won all his championships on Yamaha, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I believe he did.
He hasn't won any in the BMW. We're going to try and make sure he doesn't win another one.
Yeah, we got to prevent that dude from getting that BMW.
I like him and all, but racing's racing.
Yeah, dude.
Sorry, we'll try to take that championship away from you. At least we'll try.
Yeah,
it'd be really cool for Bobby to get one. Superbike championship.
Yeah,
Cameron's had a lot of them. Go ahead and share in the fun.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, give up one.
Yeah, I mean he's not going to give up anything. We know that.
No, he's not going to give up.
Yeah,
I just.
I see it. I see it in the comments, and I'm just like, dude, you just said that, dude. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna repeat it. But Summer's like, dude, are we talking a Tanya Harding moment here? Like,
Tanya Harding moment. Nah, I like.
No, dude. We want to beat that guy straight up, dude.
Yeah, no.
I know Bob and Cam are they've known each other forever. They're the same NorCal kind of area, basically, right? So
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Well, Bobby is up a little further north, isn't he? He's like not far from.
I don't know. Isn't Stockton's like that kind of area, right? Stockton, Roseville. I don't know. It's all Sacramento, man. Basically,
Sacramento's
right?
pretty far from Thunder Hill. I don't really know where he's at.
Honestly. No, it's Sacramento's only it's like an hour, dude. Like,
yeah, I know, but it's not an hour-long city.
Dude, from Sacramento to Redding is basically the same.
You got Mount Shasta.
It's like farmland, and then you got Mount Shasta. That's NorCal.
It looks completely different when you get north of Sacramento. It's all flat over there. Then also you start going up in the mountains. You got lakes and mountains and snow and
McLeod and all that. Yeah.
There's no San Francisco.
You basically got farmland, tree stuff, basically, and what used to be farmland it is now urban sprawl from Sacramento all the way to wherever, and then past Thunder Hill, then you start getting into that whole like hella north, right? With the trees
I had this drill sergeant. His name was Sergeant Knowlton. I'll never forget him. And he was from California, but he was from way up there. And he says anything south of Redding is Southern California to him.
I mean, I could see
it's way different up there.
No,
way different. Just like Southern Oregon is way different than Portland shithole.
I mean, everything south of Redding is SoCal. That's weird because the Bakersfield guys say everything south of Magic Mountain is SoCal. No, it's LA. Bakersfield, they say everything south of Magic Mountain is LA. All the way to Mexico. LA. No?
No. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, that's the point is they're both NorCal dudes. They come from the same area. They've come up at the same time. They've been racing each other forever. They know where they're at. And truthfully, it's hard to not root for both of them, but one of them ain't on our team, so we got to root for the guy on our team.
I'm only rooting for one.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Plus, Bobby's been on. I don't know how to put it, but this is I think his best shot in all the teams he's been on. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
I don't want to put down the other teams, but they're not. I don't know. I don't want to say same caliber, but he hasn't had the same level, like same consistent capability of winning.
Right.
So I think some of the other teams are always learning or doing something. Not that we know it all, but I think we can show up and consistently give him something he can win on.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen walking around. I see the difference between the happenings and goings on in the attack pit versus some of the other teams,
Hmm.
and I scratch my head a lot, you know, because I see the success that comes out of this program, and not all the other teams are doing that, But then again, as Cody Krager points out in the comments, not most of those other teams aren't doing World Superbike wildcards either, or building MotoGP bikes. So,
That's just I know we're going to go there and get smashed. That's my
yeah,
realistic idea. Those guys, that's their home track. It's their home
right,
turf. We're going to go to Europe, race on their home turf. We'd be arrogant to go there and say, "Oh, we're going to win. We're going to do this. We're going to do that." Like
right,
the last time we went with Jake. People are like, "Oh, he's going to finish the top 5." I'm like, we'd be happy to be mid pack because all those guys are super fast.
mm,
None of them are slouches. It's just a matter of can they put together the right combo that day to move them up a few spots.
right, right,
I think it'll be hard. Without a doubt, it'll be hard. And
yeah,
at the end, we enjoy doing it. We enjoy the challenge, and we get to go mingle with our counterparts in Europe a bit, and
yeah,
learn some stuff. It's a
right,
lot easier to connect with them when you're right there at the race with them, and it is by email. And they're busy, we're busy, so a lot of times we don't communicate hardly at all.
right.
So I think it'll be fun that way, and it's and we like going racing. Like the challenge.
Well, I remember last time we went over there, their engineers and their crew came and took a look at our bike, got all up close on the ground with it, asked you a bunch of questions about why this and that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's kind of cool to kind of take a look and compare notes a little bit.
Yeah, Massimo. I think it was Massimo. Their electronics. He's in charge of electronics, and across a number of different, like he does. I think he does world endurance. Also, he builds. I think the basis for a lot of what's happening in
Mm,
the electronic side, and I think he said one of the I can't remember how he put it, something to the effect of one of the scariest questions you can ask somebody in racing is why. Like we always do it like this, and then you say why, and they're unable to answer.
mm, okay.
Yeah. So when they came over and asked us why, I better had a good answer for them,
Yeah.
or else they think we're full of crap.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So
Yeah. I mean, what I'm talking about specifically for those that are just new to this and don't recognize, the World Superbike uses a completely different subframe and tank setup than we do here
their
in the
bike's
States.
different.
Their
Their
bike's completely
geometry's
different.
different. They share some of their geometry stuff with us, and we've tried it, and it doesn't work with the Dunlops. So, and it's hard for us to put that geometry on and go there because the riders are so used to our geometry.
Right.
That makes sense. We tried to make a change in Q2 at COTA after Bobby crashed twice in Q1. And it was a pretty substantial change that Jake liked. I mean, he went a 7.4, right?
Right.
And Bobby just couldn't ride it.
Yeah.
Couldn't even match his pace from Q1. And so we ended up going back to something he was more comfortable with.
Hmm.
So when you go to a race like that and you put on some unfamiliar geometry, it's going to take a while before the rider. It might take them, all season to get comfortable on our bike, right? To where they can call it
Right.
their own. You've heard riders say that a lot, right? Oh, I'm
Yeah.
finally being able to call this bike my own. Like they feel like they can carve a corner and do all
Right.
brake hard and accelerate, open the throttle at will and things like that. And it
Right.
takes a while for a rider to get that level of comfort, especially with the power and the grip these things have. Right? It's not an easy machine to ride, even though
Right.
we make it pretty simple and easy to ride. Yeah. So,
Right.
I'm not in some kind of illusion that we're just going to put on their setup and go there and start racing the top rack all of a sudden.
What? Yeah, I mean, I remember last time everybody kind of hyped us up, and
Yeah, I was being realistic, right? Even back
yeah,
then, you can go
yep,
back and play the tape.
yeah. But people were hyping us up, and it was like level of excitement, and then we get there, and like even for me, I was like, oh my god, whoa, we are swimming in like a way deep pool here.
And No, everybody's fast, but we did out qualify some fast guys, right? We out qualified
Yeah.
Vandermark, and we out qualified. We're kind of in the middle of the pack, and
Yeah.
at that particular race, I mean, if you look at the last sector times, you go back and look in 22 at Portimao,
Mm-hmm.
and I think we're in like often the top 10 or even top 5 in the last sector.
Yeah.
Just running onto like that one big sweeper, running onto the front straight and all the way down straight. It's just the braking into turn 1 was so off.
Right.
And downhill braking going into turn 1, that second gear corner that hooks into a first gear corner kind of thing. We're so far off in that area that if we would just fix that one sector,
right,
we're like 8/10 or something off right there, that we'd have moved us up a lot. So we're just gonna go and we're gonna have some fun and let Bobby ride hard, and he might bend the bike once or twice. We'll put it back together with whatever parts we have left. By the time we get to Jerez, by the time we may not have any parts left. Who knows?
We had to borrow some. Like, hey, you guys got a spare wing?
Yeah, I mean, the tank might be a little flat on top. We may not be able to get the right volume in there. Who knows? It's the end of the season.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I got a bunch of questions here. A lot of comments about people talking about how they think it's great that they're gonna get to see the attack program go to Europe. So a lot of comments like that. Thanks everybody for saying that. And then I got some other questions too.
Let's
this
get
is
into
like
questions.
This is like
hard
mostly.
I like hard questions, not like stupid ones. Give me hard ones.
Okay, so this is mostly. I mean, I guess we could start out with some silly season stuff. We kind of saw at COTA some of the silly season stuff come into play, right? So we had Freddie bring that Australian dude up to ride, Max
Stauffer.
Stauffer, yeah, Stauffer.
Jamie Stauffer's son.
Yeah, dude, Max. I talked to him. That dude was fired up, and if you watched him, he was getting quicker every session that he got the ride to thing, and it's something that you talk about a lot, where a rider like that, I mean, he's a superbike rider from Australia, but superbike down there is effectively stock 1,000 here.
Super stock. They have like one semi in the whole pit.
Right. Like it's
just to give you kind of a hint of what it's like.
Yeah.
As far as I know.
And they're racing on mostly like what we call go-kart tracks here.
They're tracks. Phillip Island's no go-kart track.
Yeah, but they race on a lot of tiny little 1.5 mile short tracks.
Yeah, it's like Canada.
Yeah. So to come here and race at a place like COTA on a proper super bike with completely different tires and a video game console in the cockpit, like it takes a minute. So the guy was learning, getting quicker. I think he ended up with I want to say he ended up with a 210 something by the end of the weekend, but it didn't start out that way.
Yeah, what was it, 12? I don't know. Did you do a 10?
I think he got down into like 10 or maybe like 11-0.
Beats, right?
Yeah. I mean, let's see. Do I have race 2 up here? Let's see. That's race 1. That's not it.
I think he crashed in race 2, didn't he? He got together with someone in turn 1.
Yeah.
I saw some bike fall down. I thought it was his.
Let's see. Best time. Yeah, Ben Smith did a 210, and his best was he fell down. So maybe it was morning warm up. I think I saw him get going though. Like him and Ben Smith were kind of going at it.
Yeah, they were pretty even at the end.
Yeah, and Ben shifted over to the Aussie Dave's bike and
ADR,
and
good bike.
Yeah, that's a solid bike. And I was talking to people in the paddock on what kind of an impact that Dave guy has on so many people in the pits that are privateer guys. I saw him help out Shane Magsy earlier this year when his 600 blew up, and somehow Magsy ended up on one of Dave's 750s. So it's just little silly season like that stuff come into play at as the season's starting to wind down already. So do you want to talk a little bit about your thoughts on that kind of stuff?
No.
Okay. Fair enough.
I don't know. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I mean, just your thoughts on specifically those two guys, like Ben going over here. And
okay. I thought you meant like our program or.
I'm not talking about our program. We're going to Europe.
So, I mean, I'm rooting for SBU to be in it next year.
Yeah.
We started building their engines, and and they've been pretty decent. I mean, speed was good. I think the kid went like 192 miles an hour, 193 or something. So he got going pretty decent as far as getting a run off that corner, and the speed's good, and the engine's reliable, and the team's still learning. I think trying to smooth out their program. They've had quite a few issues, missteps, whatever you want to call it, working on their procedures. And I think was a good learning year for them, and hopefully they can continue next year. On the bike, I think it'll be a good program next year. I don't know if Dave's going to do a program or what his deal is. It'd be good if he got something going. I just don't know if he's got what he has lined up. I know the Strat guys are using his semi. He's driving the races, right? So he's got that thing going for him. We're doing the engines for the Strat guys too, for the R9s and Altus, and sprinkling of people in the paddock that are relatively fast. We do their engines, and we might do some. We'll probably stay with Strat as far as doing their engines next year.
Okay.
And we'll see how it goes. I mean, fingers crossed they'll win the championship. I think they're 20 points up right now, something like that. I think he just needs 5 more on top of. Or 4 more. I think it might be 21 up. I think they need 4 to make it a tie. Like if they got 4 more than PJ in the first one, they win the championship on a tie. Yeah, we won the first AMA championship on a tie, actually.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it was Jason Pridmore.
Okay.
Yeah, 2002, I think we won the Formula Extreme Championship. It was Jake Zemke versus Jason Pridmore, and we finished on a tie, but Jason had 1 more win, so we won on a tie. Yeah.
So the fisherman dude from Ontario, the Ontario Coast Angling guy, he wants to talk about motor, he says.
Okay.
JD Beach on a stock Honda hit 196 mile an hour. And he claims that Bobby and Jake only hit like 192. Is that apples to apples, or were they both in the? And that's apples to apples. Both were in the draft. What's going on with the Yamaha horsepower? He says. Oh.
I don't know. I get a lot of people saying, "Man, that thing is so fast." So,
like everyone was coming up to us all weekend, going, "Dude, those are the fastest Yamaha's been all." I don't know.
I think it takes the BMW, which went 197. It takes it the full straightaway, make a pass in 6th gear, and no one's passing us on the front straight.
Right.
Yeah. So I think it depends on a lot of factors. We gear our bikes so we can accelerate. So if that makes any sense to your guy there.
Yeah.
And JD's a little guy, and the Honda's very fast. Yeah.
Yeah. You mean like a half a midget, goes fast on a fast bike?
Yeah.
No.
What's the apples to apples distance from like how many seconds back was JD?
I don't know.
15, 20? I don't know.
Yeah.
So that's apples to apples on the same racetrack, right? Would that be apples to apples, or is that bananas to bananas?
I think I'm favoring the oranges.
I think we are, unless we're going drag racing. I think we're still road racing. Would be my answer.
Okay.
You're saying what's going on with the Yamaha or that kind of silly stuff.
Okay.
If we're going road racing, then we look at apples to apples, meaning you all start in the same grid, and then you figure out how far ahead you finish. And so I don't remember how far we're ahead. We're out of JD or Gillum, but I think we're pretty far out there.
Okay.
I think we were like 12 seconds ahead of the Ducati, if I remember right. I'd say that's a pretty fast motorcycle.
I think he caught a fish, and I don't think he was catching the fish he was wanting on that one.
Maybe it was an apple eating fish.
He's the angler guy, so he's
maybe he baits with apples. I don't know.
So
it's just silly how somebody. It's kind of like politics, where somebody picks up some type of like a statistic, and they can bend the statistic any way they want to get the result they want. But at the end, we're road racing, right?
Right.
So you build a bike to get around a certain racetrack and be that far ahead of the guy behind you.
Yeah.
So if you look at apples to apples every racetrack, like VIR, I think we beat the BMW and the Ducati by double-digit seconds.
Yeah.
Mid Ohio, I think other than getting pushed off the racetrack, I think we had both those races covered, apples to apples.
Yeah.
Laguna, I think we lost one, but we won the other two, apples to apples.
Yeah.
So I mean, you take
So
all
I
the
think
variety
we're running out of apples, dude.
yeah, and let me think here. Let me do my apples and just add up apples like my kid does, like 1 apple, 2 apple. I think we're 8 apples up on the BMW. Is that apples to apples?
I think we've gotten the point across there,
You got
Richard.
the apples point. You're kind of hungry for an apple.
Oh man.
Yeah. I think we're 8 apples up. We're gonna see how many apples we finish back or in front when we get to New Jersey, because there's a lot of apples at the beginning there. It's like 25 apples per race.
So Tony Miller, that dude that has the R9 that
Did I keep going about apples?
No, man. I'm done with apples, dude. Like
All right.
you got enough apples to make like a pie now, dude.
Can we do like coffee beans instead? Compare coffee beans to coffee beans?
We should. We can make a necklace. We can make a necklace like with macaroni.
We're gonna go comparing coffee beans to coffee beans.
Today we're gonna have an arts and crafts section.
What's up with that Yamaha winning by 12 seconds?
Man,
that's apples to apples or coffee beans to coffee beans.
All right, so Tony Miller, dude,
people put so much.
Yes,
I mean, you see it in the paddock too with the riders, right?
Yeah,
we go, okay, we're within 3 of that. That bike they just developed last year with the gigantic valves and gigantic throttle body, and our bikes from basically 2015. Right. We're within 3 miles an hour. I go, pretty happy. Let's keep working on the handling, and let's see how many apples we can beat those guys by. So that's kind of our strategy, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Tony Miller, the guy that works on the Indian team that Cam Peterson rides for, he bought a bunch of R9 stuff. He's a local Texas guy. He's been putting his R9 together into like a proper race bike.
Yeah.
And you were talking about Jersey and winning at Jersey, and he says nobody wins that when they're in Millville.
Nobody wins.
Nobody wins when you're in Millville. I guess he doesn't like Millville, Jersey. I don't.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's a different kind of city,
Yeah.
Were you there last year with us when?
No, dude. No, I've only been there at like champ school.
Yeah, I think we went to the shittiest restaurant I've ever been to.
Okay.
I mean, it was crap.
We're gonna avoid that one.
Well, we're definitely not gonna avoid that one.
Was it worse than the one Randy Workman had us at Mid Ohio?
We had a Thai place once we went to when Marshall was very first time on the team. Oh, you're talking about the bar? No, that bar's way better than that place we went to.
No way.
No, I mean, it looked like it was, all modern and all this other kind of stuff.
Yeah.
We sat there so long, and the pizza was like plastic when it showed up. I mean, the pepperonis were like eating plastic, red plastic. It was the worst pizza and the worst place. And Joseph was there with us. He had to go complain, and I think we all walked out pretty much.
Wow.
It was terrible. That was Millville. But they do have a couple of steakhouses, which we always kind of frequent.
I just know that I was there one time there was a frozen custard spot too, right?
Yeah, well, right next to that frozen custard spot I think it's frozen custard or yogurt spot. There's a Thai place that we went into once when Marshall first started on the team. He's like, let's go to this Thai place. It's pretty good. I was like, all right, sure, why not? After that, we wouldn't let him pick anywhere to go.
Wow.
Like we sat down and I go, and I'm looking at the menu and it didn't have what I wanted, So I picked up a picture of this Thai dish I wanted. I showed the girl and I go, can you guys make this for me? And she goes, no. And we sat around for a long time just to get served, and it was terrible.
Well, trusting the restaurant recommendations from the guy that orders shredded chicken tacos everywhere across the country.
Yeah, he goes to an Indian restaurant and gets really mild food.
Yeah. Wow.
He's not all bad though. He picks a few good spots. His Indian restaurant choices are pretty good. Yeah.
The beer hunter wants to know if you're surprised that we haven't seen a Honda 600 entry in Supersport, especially with the new rules allowing an HRC spec cylinder head and cams.
I think apples to apples. the Honda may not be good enough.
Mm-hmm.
We're measuring by apples.
Because we've still seen some R6s out, right? There's still some
Yeah,
R6s
I think there
out.
was one in the paddock now.
I haven't seen a Cowie either, really. I mean, is there a
You know,
Cowie? I haven't seen one.
the Cowie's another one of those bikes, like apples to apples, has a lot of straightaway speed and has probably the most benefit because they're even the Cowie unrestricted uh, is way more power than some of the bikes that are restricted right now, like the R9 and the bigger bikes. You know, that leader bike, that Ducati, which is a dumbed down super bike, basically that Chaz Davies rode.
Right.
For the most part, it's a leader twin they call now mid-level bike.
Right.
So you know it's both those bikes kind of pared down. The Cowie actually would be better on straightaway speed and power than those things. And the R6 was, again, you go, oh, apples to apples and this and that, but the R6 won the championship last year, right?
Right.
You know, the ones we helped Strack with.
Right.
As far as engine development goes. Everybody's complaining how fast those things were. Oh, R6 is too fast. Remember Ben Speed was complaining, oh, you made those things too fast. Like, it's a 600, man.
Crazy lunatic riding it. I mean,
it's a 600 that's super old, but it's still a great motorcycle. You know, really.
So, Mike, I think he's one of the Robum Engineers guys. This Mike C guy. It's not to be confused with Mike Canfield. It's a different Mike. It's a different Mike C. He's asking if you could use the MotoAmerica engines in World Superbike, or is the R1 getting different concessions there?
R1 gets a frame, which we don't have. Yeah.
Okay. So we have like a wild card.
For the most part, it's the same. For the most part, it's the same.
Yeah.
And so we would be, you know, use their spec engine, and but we don't have a concession frame.
Okay.
We just use the chassis we're comfortable with. You know, again, we're going there just to learn and hobnob with the famous. You know, we're not there to go beat up anybody or get in their way. I'm sure Bobby's going to want to ride the wheels off it, and that's great. You know, I think he'll learn some more riding with those guys. Kind of like, you know, you say when you play tennis, you play with a pro, you're going to be a lot better than playing with some schmuck down the street, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Mudge wants to know, why do you prefer using Yamaha number 6 instead of the OEM recommended Yamaha number 3?
You talking about the black stuff?
Oh.
I think 6B is black.
Okay.
Works good. It's Yamaha.
There you go.
Black. I'm pretty sure they come with that now, because I never see gray unless the 3 is in black from the factory. But I don't see the crate engines with oozing out gray anymore. I think they've switched to black. That's a good question. Yeah, we use a 6B. And it sticks really good. Like, there's no leakage issues or anything like that. I mean, it's a good product. I'd use it on everything.
There's some few comments in here, and I still get a lot of comments at the track about it. Are we going to bring extra cases of pole position spray for Jersey round?
I've got a fresh can right here.
All right.
Lost the top of it, but
dude, we should raffle that off, man. We should raffle that off.
It's like 3/4 full.
Oh man!
I forgot to bring it to COTA, or else I think we've been apples to apples better.
Oh, that's how we're gonna just keep going with the apples thing to that guy.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so ridiculous.
Got it.
The guy is saying, you know, oh, why is your bike so slow?
Oh man,
only 12 seconds ahead of the Ducati. Should be faster.
Wow,
what a retard.
Steve Main from Buy a Jet from Steve Main wants to know what are the team's riders for next year? Have they been announced yet?
No, they haven't been announced.
Bro, have you read an announcement?
No, I mean it's a good question. I mean, we don't know.
Yeah.
That's Yamaha's deal. You know, all we do is we give them a list of capable riders and go, this is our list. And both of our riders' contracts are up next year. I think Bobby has an option.
Okay.
I think he might get an automatic renewal if he finishes in the top 2. I mean, top 3.
Okay.
Top 3. I think that's where that one went. And Jake's contract's up, so it depends on what they come to terms with.
That angler guy, the angler guy asked if you think that JD could be in a fight to win next season if he was on a superbike Honda, given how good he was on the Stalker.
I mean, I like JD a lot. That's a tough question because,
Yeah,
and I think JD keeps getting better, but I think back to apples and apples. If the Honda's going 196, what was Uribe's bike doing?
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and he's fighting Uribe basically, right?
Right.
I didn't watch all the super stock races, but I mean, I like JD. I wouldn't mind putting him on a bike.
Yeah.
Is he capable all season long? Maybe.
Yeah.
That's just a maybe.
Yeah.
Is JD going to beat Bobby all season long, or Heron, or Bobby, or Jake? I don't know how much faster he'd be on a proper. I mean, he won on our bike in the wet or semi-wet, in New Jersey. I mean, I really like him, but there's only so much we can do. And then so the question is, how much success, how many wins have you had on a proper motorcycle, right?
Right. Yeah.
So that's the question. I'd like to see him on the Honda Superbike. I think he'd be a lot closer for sure.
Yeah.
And he's light, and he's strong, and he's fit, and all those things. I don't know. We got along really good on our bike, and he got along with electronics and the brakes and all that stuff really, really quickly. So he's pretty impressive. Yeah. But I just don't know if he can do the whole season competitive every single round, or if it's going to be a few rounds here.
Right.
He may bust out. You put him on a Superbike, all of a sudden, boom, he's winning everything. And eat my words.
Right.
It's really hard to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hard to say.
I mean, big fan of that dude. Have been for a long time.
I'd be happy for him.
Like, he hangs out in our pit sometimes, right? Like, he just comes by.
I mean, I've known him for a long time, and I mean, the first Superbike he rode was ours.
Yeah.
2011, right? 2011 or 12? Kawasaki. 12. Yeah. I think it was 11.
11?
Yeah. It was 11. 12 was Steve Rapp.
Okay.
Yeah, it was 11. It was the first year of that model Kawasaki, and we did the road to Daytona with him. And it was we were racing the Daytona 200, and we also did the with Eric Bostrom and JD Beach.
Right.
And that was, I think, his first start. I was like, he was very, very new to road racing.
Yeah.
He was fast straight away on our Kawasaki.
Oh yeah, he definitely was.
Right off the bat. I thought he was too young to get his road race license or his Superbike license, and so we had to go to Miller Motorsports Park, and he had to finish in a certain, I can't remember if it was top 7 or something like that in the test that we did, and he did. He finished that, and then they gave him the license. So I think he turned of age, like later that year.
Yeah.
He had some crashes and things like that. So by season end, I mean, he was still trying to figure out how to ride a motorcycle, a road race bike.
Right.
Didn't really use the front brake, didn't know how to use the front brake. And so some tracks he was good at, some tracks he wasn't good at. He collected Chris Ulrich at Infineon. I think that's when Chris knocked his noggin and got silly. I'm not sure if Chris ever got unsilly off that, but do you remember that?
I've seen Chris get a pretty big hit too. I mean,
it was
that was at one of my track days actually.
Yeah, they got together. I think at the turn, whatever it was, 1, 2, 3, or 4, whatever they call it, turn there, top of the hill, Infineon, or as they call it, Sears Point now, I think.
I don't. Who cares?
I
mean,
So anyway, I've known JD for a long time, and I mean, he's a pleasure to work with. I always have fun with him. So I like the fact he's back in the paddock road racing.
Right. Eric Miller wants to know if a World Superbike R1 makes significantly more power than a MotoAmerica Superbike
R1.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Oh, that's right. You haven't had one on the dyno to find out.
Yeah, I mean, they keep developing them, and so I'm sure they're pretty good. But sometimes it's deceiving because if you get the acceleration off the corner, the bike sure seems a lot better.
Right.
It really is, I can just go back to 22 Portimao. Our speeds were very, even though our trap speed wasn't great because Jake was braking prior to where the trap speed was, before he went downhill into that turn one braking zone. But we had their data, top racks and Locatellis, and the speed overlays were pretty damn close,
Yeah.
So I think that there might be comparable. There's only so much you can do with that engine, but I think the mid-range acceleration is really good.
Yeah.
So it might show some good speed based on the fact they get off the corner so good. So I'm not expecting to be out there going as fast as they are.
Okay.
Because we have to learn and work on our acceleration, gearing, throttle, traction control, wheel control, all that stuff. So we'll be learning as we go. So I don't have the expectations we'll be as fast as them straight away. But maybe as the weekend goes on, or maybe by the time we get to the next racetrack.
There's a question, Mecha Shiva 76, and there's a few follow-ups in the comments, people going back and forth about it, but Mecha says, how is this different than when Spies went out there and just like got pole from round one? Serious question. And then Sonny Kim says, 09, right? And Sonny Kim says, the R1 was brand new, now it's older, and other manufacturers have a lot better bikes now, more new bikes, So what are your thoughts on that?
I think Spies is an anomaly. I'm perfectly honest with you. I think he was a pretty special rider at the time. He was very geeky about the technology of the bike. He understood the bike. I mean, he was racing here at a very high level with Matt Mladen and Eric Bostrom and all those guys. Ben Bostrom and I think he already had it. And the tires we had back then were UK Dunlops or French Dunlops. I don't remember exactly where they were made. And so the grip, the bikes were real superbikes back then that we had in the US. So we had good forks, good brakes, all the stuff, very, very high performance engines. We didn't have stock like engines like we have now, basically.
Okay.
And so I think that it was an easy transition for him to go there. And he was a very special rider. I mean, there's no doubt about it. And I think that made all the difference. It's the same team that's there now. So when they had Spies, they went out and won that. And then the next championship they won was with Top Rack. So from 09 until when did Top Rack win? 22?
Right.
Yeah. So
21?
22, I thought.
22. That was 21. We were there in 22, and I think Bautista.
No, I don't think I'd won the championship then.
No?
I don't know. Well, years.
It all blends in together,
all
man.
These years run together. So you can imagine it's been a while for them.
Right.
So I think Ben was a pretty special rider, and he went there with his crew chief. He's pretty comfortable, and maybe the technology wasn't as high with the other bikes. I mean, the Ducatis were twins at the time, and there was no BMW, and so you had Kawasaki's and a few other bikes there that may not have been as advanced as what the Yamaha team was at the time.
Right. There's a couple of funny questions coming in. I'm curious what your answer is going to be to this one. Eric Miller says, this is a dumb question because he doesn't know. Yeah. But who is Dustin to Attack Performance? Honestly, not an insult or anything. Just really want to know.
Should I even bother? Should I give it a serious answer or the normal insult?
I mean, whatever, man. It's this show, dude.
Dustin's like the team mascot.
There you go. Crewman 37, baby. Come on now.
You'd be wearing a big furry outfit and walking around.
I'm not doing that, dude. Ixnay on the... No, I'm not doing
I mean, Dustin's got a few nicknames, and a few more he doesn't know when he walks away.
Probably. Yeah. As you can tell, I'm kind of the comic relief on the team, basically.
I mean, Dustin does a lot of our social media, right?
Mm-hmm.
TrackDaz is kind of a team sponsor, and which Dustin owns. And what else Dustin do? He buys me lunch sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes I buy him lunch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he takes up.
I'm really good at taking up stickers off trash cans.
Yeah, and he also he loves to be in your way whenever you're working hard.
Yeah, Yeah, that's my role on the team actually.
Yeah.
Marshall
So
has
if
it
you have
official
like two guys in the back of the transporter working on an engine, Dustin has to be right next to you, standing next to you, looking over your shoulder
with the camera.
with a camera. And you're like, and then you turn around and you go, dude, get out of here. So
Like, and the thing is, like, you're saying this stuff and it's funny, but it's also true at the same
it's
time.
all true. I'm being honest.
Yeah, there you go, man. Yeah, Cody Krager is pointing out that I'm also the fire extinguisher guy. You left that one out, Richard.
Yeah, he's a fire extinguisher. You know, put your foot out in front of the bike, stop it, guy.
Oh, dude, yeah, that was
Yeah,
a fun
your
one.
ankle. Don't run over my ankle.
Yeah, there
Yeah,
you
so
go.
that's that. Okay, enough of Dustin.
Yeah, so there you go. Thanks a lot, Eric,
He's
for
also
that
a
abuse.
trackside sales guy.
Yeah, dude, I run the Attack dustbin.
Yeah, so
So
we have a big container full of our parts, and we call it the dust bin.
yeah,
And so Dustin, he inventories the dust bin and he sells parts, and as part of track days, Dustin
there
does a
you
lot on
go.
the team.
Yeah,
Dustin's also the crew pass coordinator and rider fluffer for World Superbike.
Ryder Fluffer, calm
I
down,
mean,
bro.
yeah, that's it.
Not
Assistant.
doing that, dude.
So
You know,
Dustin's going to go around and make sure
I'll
that
give him a pep talk. That's about it, dude.
yeah,
Like,
so he's gonna make sure that Bobby doesn't miss any of the events because they do a lot of events over there.
right,
You know,
right.
so, hey man, you got 12 o'clock sharp right now.
Oh my
And they are
God.
so insisting that the rider has an assistant because all those riders, I think they're complete flakes probably.
Oh, dude. Like I was supposed to do that last time too, and it's like, Jake, you got to get out to this thing. You know, it's 6 o'clock. You got to be here. It's pretty serious over there, you know. And Michael Hill, you know, I did a goof bit with him last weekend. It was super funny, but he's like, look, we're gonna do some stuff with Bobby, and he was hitting me up the other day asking if Bobby spoke Spanish because he was gonna save whatever he had planned for Jerez if he did, but he doesn't. So it's gonna happen at Estoril. So
Yeah,
whatever that
I'm not
is,
saying the th sound.
I don't do that.
I'm gonna say it with a Z.
I can't do it, dude. It's just don't come natural to
It's
me. Like a
Lorenzo.
Z is Z, not Z or not the. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I'm talking with a lisp when I go there and order food.
My wife just texted me something. Apparently, my role on the team is this character named Andy on The Devil Wears Prada or something. I don't get that,
I
but
don't know the show.
cool,
No.
cool. Anyway, so yeah, it's pretty cool. I think I'm excited about the World Superbike thing. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Interacting, and who knows, maybe I'll get a new tour of the Yamaha garage again. That'd be fun. Have to check with that Denning guy and see if that works. For Jersey, did you see that Orange Cat's gonna race Superbike?
Nice. I encourage them all to race your bike.
Yeah, dude, that Orange Cat dude's getting switched on with this whole race thing, huh?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to talk silly season, you know, Vandermark wants to come here,
Yeah,
right? And there's always some type of World Superbike refugee that wants to come here, and then sometimes a lot of times they go back. So, and then of course you have Baz. I'm sure he's wants to get back on a Superbike, so it's possible he could end up on something. There's a lot of good riders in the paddock, in our paddock.
yeah,
You know, I mean,
yeah.
if you look at the list of riders, you got SDK. I think he's out of a contract. Jake's out of a contract. Vandermark wants to come here. Baz. I don't know what Heron's deal is. I mean, there's some rumor that team may stop racing Superbikes or may go away. I hope not. I really hope they
Oh,
stay in.
Ray Hall's going up to Superbike
Ray
with
Hall's going to
TJ.
Superbike. They made that
Yep.
announcement pretty early too. I talked to
Yeah.
Richie about that. I mean, that's going to be a full blown, you know, I don't know what you call it, support team bike, you know, factory
Yeah.
style. I mean, those bikes. I think there's not much difference between the factory bikes and the for sale bikes. You know, just the development might be just a little bit more leading edge, but a lot of times it doesn't amount to anything as far as lap times. So I think the Superbike series is looking pretty damn good next year.
Yeah. It just, you know, MotoAmerica, that stuff, it just keeps getting better and better. You know, the racing has gotten better. Superbike is it's super competitive Superbike now.
Yeah,
So
I mean, Tytlers, they always threaten to go away every year.
yeah, right.
So
Did the first season, right? The first season, they were like, "We're out. You're firing everybody."
yeah,
Right?
well, they fired half their people. Yeah, I mean, I was in New Jersey, like everyone's fired after today, and then they
Yeah,
had half the team.
yeah,
So who knows if that's just a way that Kylie decides to get rid of riders or something? It's like, oh, I'm tired of this guy. I'm
right.
going to close the team up, and then he runs the team anyway. I don't know. I don't know what
Yeah.
that dude's deal is. He's an interesting guy.
I mean, every season's the last season with Kylie, but I remember the first. I still got to get that guy. Kind of owes me a podcast, but I remember talking to him, and
I
the
talked to
first,
him for a bit,
yeah,
and honestly, he was saying all kinds of stuff. Like he wanted to turn the fucking series into kind of a gong show. We're gonna get all the riders to ride an IROC style bike, and they're all gonna be the same thing. And then we're gonna do some strange thing here and there with a. It's like trying too hard and not really focusing on the racing as an entertainment, like trying to do a
right,
sideshow of entertainment. And yeah, I guess if you have, like supercross style fireworks and this and that, maybe it'll attract some more people. I don't know. I think Baggers is kind of there for a gong show anyway.
I mean, I think they can do a good job. They can do a good job easily, making stars out of the guys. I think the front runners should be rock stars, right? Like I mean,
Yeah, I mean, that's the way it was the AMA days, right?
right?
We
Like
had
we all
Paul,
knew,
Crevier,
yeah,
and Mladen and all those guys, lines and lines of people trying to get their autographs.
yeah,
And then DMG came in and ruined it.
right,
The Boston brothers. I mean, all those guys that were there, Pridmore, all those guys that they were making bank, first of all, good money.
yeah,
Jamie
yeah,
Hacking and Roger Hayden and Tommy Hayden and all those guys are making bank. And
yeah,
and the series was pretty popular.
right,
And DMG ruined it, and now it's kind of back into it. I mean, when we're pulling into COTA and kind of walking. They park you kind of far away, so you got to walk quite a bit. And so we're walking in, and you walk by all the semis are sitting there. You go, you know what? There's a lot of semis here.
yeah,
There's a lot of semis in the paddock now, and
yeah.
if it's not a semi, it's a pretty big toy haul.
Well,
So
wasn't that Orange Cat team asking about a semi?
I think so. I
Yeah,
mean, the top pro guys were asking about semis, and they just poof went away. So I
right.
don't know what happened with those guys. I thought they had a lot of potential too. I mean, they came out, won some races, right? With
Yeah,
they had proper bikes, and they ran a good program. It seemed like, and they had a nice semi, and but it's a strange business. They come and go like that.
right.
Like Kylie comes in, maybe he goes. I mean, back in the day, it's like Bruce's transportation and this guy and that guy.
Ridiculous.
Ridiculous. And they come in and they go, oh man, MotoAmerica pissed us off. They're picking on us.
Michael Jordan.
Yeah, Michael Jordan team. I mean, you just name them. There's just
Dude, we got to bring Jordan back. That'd be cool.
Yeah. I was thinking about this the other day. It's like we are the oldest pro team in that series now. We've been doing AMA pro racing since 1990, off and on 1993 and 4. But then 7 was our first full year, in AMA pro and Superbike. And I think the second oldest team is in the pro level is the M4 guys.
Right.
I think they started in 98 or 99, something like that.
Right. Because they were like we were a team kind of prior.
Yeah, they were a regional team.
Formerly USA.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I remember now. We had a rider. His name was Paul Harrell, and we went out and won at Colorado. He beat the Arion team, and John Ulrich called Paul. Said, "Hey, Paul, if I bring my riders, do you think they'd be competitive?" And Paul's like, "Hell yeah, bring them." And then I think the next year they started. I think it was '98. Then they started doing a full deal. So. Yeah, it's strange. I mean, I always feel like a newcomer every time because the AMA thing was so big. I always felt like this little private team, and always. And it's still kind of that's still in the back of our head that we're nothing special,
Well, I mean, if people knew the full story about this program, they probably be a lot more impressed with what this team's done. Because like you're not doing it with gazillions of dollars, and
No, we're a bargain.
you don't have a cup of tea guy, bro. Like
no,
you have the mascot that gets in the way, but I don't make cups of tea.
Yeah, it's useless.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah,
Like the World Superbike day, I'm going to ask Paul Denning, or I'm going to ask Denning how many full-time crew he has this time, because last time it was like 20 something plus a cup of tea guy.
Yeah, so that's interesting. That's a program much like ours, actually. So the team runs out of Yamaha Europe, right there north of Monza, and so the bikes and development, all that stuff is Yamaha, but Paul Denning is a principal, so they kind of run probably the contracts through him, much like different than what we do. So, Yamaha US, the race department's only like 15 minutes away from us or so in Cerritos, and we're at Huntington Beach, California. Right. And so we run their program, but we run it all out of our shop. So we do the development, everything here, where they take care of the riders and some of the logistics and promotion stuff like shirts, hats,
right,
advertising, whatever, right? Sponsored getting, where we are just the technical staff. Like we build the bikes, we take them to the racetrack, and we put them on the racetrack, and we crew the bikes. That's our job. We're like the crew. And with that deal, I think the crew is all Yamaha. But I don't know if they're all contracted Denning or not. So it's an interesting question. I'd be curious to talk to them about it. But it's very similar, just in a little different ways.
Yeah. Just I mean, they have a whole circus they bring with them.
Oh, it's a gigantic effort.
It's multiple semis.
There, it's all done. They developed the R9, all the kit parts for that.
Okay.
It's a pretty intense program over there. Yeah, I mean, in one building, that World Superbike, and they were doing the R9 also, and the next building is MotoGP.
Okay.
And they're Siamese, right? So you walk out of the building, walk in the next one. You have to get a special pass to be able to go on the MotoGP side. Boop. Yeah, retina scan. Guy lets you in.
Nice.
Secure, man. But it's a pretty cool effort, I mean, hats off to those guys, as Jake would say, for the effort they do. It's pretty cool. Yeah. So
big plans for Jersey?
No.
Special sauce? No. Throwing extra juice in the crate? Umbrellas? Is it going to rain at Jersey?
I mean, I can ask, I guess, what track would Jersey compare to the ones that would it be Laguna Seca, Mid-Ohio, VIR, or COTA? I'd say more closer to VIR and Mid-Ohio.
Yeah. I'd say, yeah. I mean, with the trees and the grass,
trees,
and the up and downs.
Who the hell's looking at trees?
I'm saying the scenery. It looks it's similar.
Oh, not the scenery. New Jersey's
I'm just talking shit, man.
I know, it's like beach sand. It's like on a beach, pretty much. The whole track, everything's kind of sand out there, and when it rains, that doesn't really drain very good.
It seeps out, right?
Yeah. It's real shallow. But anyway, I mean, our setup is so close for all three of those racetracks, whether it's a hard tire or soft tire. VIR is a little bit different depending on the braking zone. So we'll have some compromise setup, and we'll go there and we'll do our best and see what we can do. I think both Bobby and Jake will go really well there.
Right on, man. Well,
Jake didn't race there last year, remember?
Right. Well, we're up over an hour and a half on this one, so I think we should wrap this thing. Yeah. So you got that look on you that your coffee level's getting low too. So tune that thing up, dude.
I have to get back to this list. I gotta get all stuff ready for tomorrow.
That's why I said you needed the coffee. You know what I mean?
I'll be in early, and we'll just go through the list real quick and make sure the crates are loaded. We got to ship the crates to New Jersey, and then after the race, we'll do some work on the bikes and put them in the crates and ship them off to Portugal.
Right on, man.
Yeah.
Well, let's wrap this thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Thanks for everybody for commenting on all this stuff, and Ontario Anglers guy, bro. Pick a different fruit than apples. right?
Beans, coffee beans.
Beans, coffee beans. There you go.
Yeah, is
There
it
you
dark
go.
roast or which one?
Yeah. It's a breakfast blend. Breakfast
Yeah,
blend.
there you
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Yeah, JD's riding
Yeah.
dark roast. We're on breakfast blend.
Yeah, so like and subscribe and share and comment and tell us how wrong you think we are in the comments later. So,
And I don't
and
care.
until then, yeah, and Richard clearly doesn't care. And we probably won't do a Superbike Genius after Jersey because we're going to be flying to Europe like a week later, right?
Now we'll be at the shop for a week.
Okay, so I guess we'll do one after Jersey. Then that Jersey one will be like the full on, oh man, the stuff for World Superbike's been shipped out.
Yeah, I mean they ship from there, and then we'll be back here like on Tuesday or something.
Right on.
All right, dude.
Well, yep. See ya.
Later.